Session 0, A Curious Beginning.
Hello, and welcome to Dungeons & Dragons and Couples, a theatrical recap of my monthly D&D game. Recently, a few of my friends and I were trying to think of ways to bond with our significant others. We didn't have a current game going on, and Allison suggested that maybe like D&D might work. So we hit up another friend of ours who DMs, David, and he thought that was a great idea. So this will be the first time that us and our wives are all playing in a game together, and it's going to be really exciting. I've always felt that D&D in general is a great way to build friendships and just lifelong stories. I mean, I can still remember games when I was 16, 17, wherever you're playing, and it's a really fun bond. And to be able to experience that with my wife, I think could be really, really great. Also, she could finally walk in that line of what I think makes D&D so great. So that's going to be pretty exciting as well. So in today's episode, I will be doing a quick recap of our Session 0, which is basically our character creation night, and then talking a little bit about the world and a little bit about our characters so I don't give away too much, but you know who are all the players that will be going forward in this party. Our game will take place in the world of Aderna. Our DM, David, has been putting this together for quite some time. He's had an ongoing game for almost 2 years, and he's really fleshed out a lot of the eastern part of his world, which is full of political intrigue, warring. There's these fascist, tyrant human armies trying to colonize everywhere. You got these last bastions of hope, and you've got there's all types of drama going on. That's not going to be our game. We are going to be taking place on the western part of the world, which David hasn't had a chance to really flesh out. So this is a way for him to help world build and also to have a lighter-hearted game. So as we're on the east side, things are very crazy and warring. On the west side, it's going to be a really fun time. I think more Guardians of the Galaxy and less Game of Thrones. Our adventure begins in Nightono Cove, which you can see right here behind me. And our party consists of a pair of elves, an Aasimar warlock, a kobold, and a high seas loving tabaxi. And they're all at the beginnings of a very shaky friendship.
Broken paths can often lead to a road of revenge, as is the case with May. Hardship and strife led her down a dark and dangerous path, and from the depths of the ocean, a dark bargain was made, with May swearing allegiance to whomever could give her the strength to right the wrongs that were so unfairly thrust upon her. May's travels led her to Fairwind Bay and to the employ of a dangerous family. With new connections and a few seemingly useful friends, May thinks she has found the stepping stones necessary to get her to her long-awaited revenge. Druidic magic came easy to Valmoria, a skill that her parents were rightfully proud of. It wasn't long until Val was sent to the local temple to perfect her new gifts, but her happiness would not last long, as her temple was razed to the ground by the invading armies branding her as a heretic. Val fled to her family, who helped her get passage off of Dalinar on a ship heading west. Val has found a new place to call home in Fairwind Bay, with new friends, exciting people, and adventures around every corner. Every day feels like a blessing. Val knows she must go home one day, but today is not that day. Also hailing from Dalinar, Mako has called Fairwind Bay his home for almost 10 years now, but his arrival was anything but pleasant, as he was shipwrecked in Nightono Cove and was rescued by a local monastery, the Shrine of Azerin. Mako was nearly catatonic for 6 months, and it wasn't until he was taken to the local beach for fresh air that he began his re-emergence. Mako had amnesia from the wreck for many years and had to relearn most of his motor and speech functions, both of which came from local teens and the monastery. Mako lives life to the fullest and has never had a bad day. He dreams of surfing all the beaches in the world, one wave at a time. Emmy was rambunctious from the start, always causing chaos with her home clan, from lying to playing tricks to even stealing. Needless to say, it didn't take long for the clan to grow tired of all of her antics, but that was just fine with Emmy, who longed for adventure on the high seas. One fateful meeting later, and a few stolen coins, Emmy was able to buy passage onto a local pirate ship, where her old ways would eventually get her in trouble once more. Emmy was thrown off the ship for stealing from the crew, and so she set out to get new work in Fairwind Bay. And it didn't take long as Emmy fell in line with some local smugglers, but her restlessness is starting to rear its ugly head all over again. Kobolds are usually not very sentimental creatures, but this was not the case for Hans, who was the runt of his litter, and a bit of a mama's boy. This strange behavior did him no favors with other clan members of the same age, and it got worse for Hans once his mother passed away and left him all alone. Hans's life got a little harder after that, however, as his clan was enslaved by local traders, and he was thrown into a cage and forced into labor for years. It wasn't all bad for Hans, as his cellmate was a talkative but grumpy dwarf who helped pass the time by teaching him his own language and other dwarven histories. Hans eventually made his escape from the camp and snuck his way onto a docked ship where he met a friendly tabaxi, who immediately became Hans's newest best friend. And when that tabaxi was thrown from the ship, Hans gladly followed, excitedly welcoming whatever adventure waited in the Fairwind Bay.
Thanks to everyone for stopping by, and be sure to come back. I will be putting out episodes at least once a month. If we're able to play more, I will gladly put out more. But any type of feedback or anything, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to share this with everybody, and until next time.